project that we're doing the groundbreaking for today was developed to meet in new environmental regulations that were adopted for Alachua Sink. They were adopted in 2006. The new environmental regulations required significant reductions in nutrient discharges. And so it involved many, many partners around the region that are involved and affect the prairie and Alachua Sink in some way. And I'd really like to compliment the Gainesville community for rising to the challenge of meeting these new requirements in a creative way that not only met requirements, but did some other really, really good things for the community. The project meets GRU's regulatory requirements. They meet the regulatory requirements of our stormwater utility, but they also meet community objectives of water quality improvements prior to recharge, a restoration of water balance on Paynes Prairie, the rehydration of about 1,300 acres of wetlands that have been historically drained that will be restored. And this project will provide an incredible recreational amenity to the community. So in addition to meeting regulatory requirements, this project does so many other good things. The prairie, Paynes Prairie, was drained in 1930. I say drained. It was a cattle operation, and in order to run cattle more fully on the prairie, canals were dug on the prairie to drain it so that cattle could graze more widely. And part of that involved Sweetwater Branch Canal, which actually kind of connected to Sweetwater Branch and moved that water directly to the sink instead of sheet flowing over the prairie as it did historically. That happened in the 1930s. The state bought the prairie in the 1970s and has been restoring the prairie since they bought it. And as a matter of fact, this project is a pretty important part of restoring another part of the prairie. The project consists of additional phosphorus removal that GRU is doing at its Main Street Water Reclamation Facility. It consists of a 125-acre constructed wetland that we'll visit today. It involves rerouting Sweetwater Branch into the constructed wetland, and after treatment, the water will be distributed broadly across the prairie instead of going directly into Sweetwater Branch. The Sweetwater Branch Canal will be restored, and flow from the constructed wetland, again, will restore the hydrology to about 1,300 acres of wetlands.
Our drinking water is crucial. It's crucial, and the water supply is crucial for every community, whether it be a human community or an ecological community. And this project is designed to address that head on. Our springs are threatened by excessive nutrient pollution, and in turn, so is our groundwater. But this project will take what is a disturbed system, restore it to a more natural state, and in turn have natural removal of those nutrients that are polluting our groundwater and ultimately our drinking water and also the lifeblood of our springs and aquifer.
Paynes Prairie was our first designated state preserve, and it remains one of our most unique treasures in Florida. I think about this last session, we spent $70 million towards the efforts to undo the damage that was done to the River of Grass, the Everglades, in South Florida, which is obviously something of great importance, not to just the state, but the nation and the world. And this, to me, is a continuation of that effort. There's a lot of mistakes made over the last 100 years when it comes to decisions that we made that we thought represented progress, and they didn't always necessarily represent progress. And we fortunately have been wise enough to make some decisions to undo some of those mistakes.
This is a special day as we take one step closer toward restoring the original natural beauty of Paynes Prairie. It is ambitious to fill in 2 miles of the Sweetwater Canal, but at the end of the day, this is going to be worth it. We're going to be able to restore the natural sheet flow into Paynes Prairie. And obviously with the wetlands doing what they're supposed to do, polish that water, remove the excess nutrients before it enters the Alachua Sink, it's going to pay off for us. I'd be remiss in not mentioning the Main Street Water Reclamation Facility. You know, we get to see the wetlands and the natural beauty, but kind of the folks that make it happen are these wastewater plants. One of the perks of my job is I get to visit landfills and wastewater treatment plants. But the extra step that GRU and this community took in doing the upgrades to that Main Street facility pulls it all together. It makes it work. So it's really a multi-pronged attack of not only the wetlands restoration, filling in the Sweetwater Canal, but also the Main Street facility.
Well, on behalf of the St. Johns River Water Management District, we would like to congratulate GRU and the city on this project. It's been a wonderful project to be involved in, and it's exciting to see the progress continuing. On a personal note, I've had connection to this project for many decades. I was trying to figure out this morning how many decades, and when you have to start counting in decades, you know you're in trouble. But there were a number of us in this room right now who were at the University of Florida in the late 70s and the early 80s working on our academic careers, and it was at that time that this project really was hatched as an idea. There were a couple of graduate students working with Dr. Jack Ewell, I think, who really conceived the idea of this project. That's a long time ago. And we have a saying that we talk about over at St. John's, which is continuity of purpose. And this project is a poster child to fulfill that kind of a motto.
The visitor center is going to be just back there, tucked in the live oaks.
Right. What I'll do is push that very wet, watery sediment up on that loading slab. The water can drain out.
Public Works involvement in the project in the operational phase is going to be operating this piece of the facility, making sure that annually the sediment is removed from this basin, monthly removing the trash from the floating trash trap that's out there. For the most part, this is going to be a fairly passive operation from an energy standpoint. And I guess that's a good point for keeping the operational costs low. We've relied on gravity to push everything through the system. In terms of public usage of this facility, I think the thing that is going to please the public the most is going to be the path system. There's going to be a nice boardwalk through Cell 1 that will give you upfront and close personal, intimate relationship with the wetland and anything that inhabits the wetland, be it alligators, birds. Assuming no disruptions, this project will be finished June of 2014.